What's up, everybody? This is Hippie Dicky Moon. When I want to watch something super groovy, I tune in to Squared Circle.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It is April 28th, 2015. Welcome to another exciting edition of the award-winning Squared Circle. I'm here, as always, by Mr. John Zimmerman, and filling in for Dangerous Dan tonight, the beautiful, talented Ms. Aubrey St. John. Welcome back.
You gotta come on right.
I'm the one that always messes it up.
I know.
I think I've called you everything but the right name.
It's usually St. James, St. Johnson.
I know, right?
Who knows?
We're silly sometimes.
Silly sometimes. But on a serious note, I want to alert everyone to the unfortunate passing of WWE Hall of Famer and legend Verne Gagne. Gagne instrumental in the beginning of the careers of guys like Sergeant Slaughter, and of course, Nature Boy Ric Flair. Of course, he's definitely going to be missed.
Yeah, I don't think there's anybody out there, especially today, that hasn't been touched by the legacy of Verne Gagne, either learning directly from him or from somebody that was trained by him. He's been around. He was a staple on the scene. He was like the Vince McMahon of that territory.
Minnesota,
obviously, yeah,
right,
to the territory days. The guys always say, that they were working out in a barn in Minnesota in the freezing cold with no heat, and the guy would just make you do squats until you passed out.
Right.
So, he was really into physical fitness and training outside and above the wrestling program. And, what these guys benefited from it. And if you read Ric Flair's book, he's
to be
got
the man.
nothing but praise for the training of Mr. Gagne. So it's a really sad day.
Right,
in history.
He was a great champion, and as well as the promoter of American Wrestling Association.
Yes,
definitely going to be missed. So our thoughts and prayers out to his family tonight. God bless.
Yep.
But on a lighter note, part of our mission here at the Squared Circle, in addition to talking about the goings-on in World Wrestling Entertainment, which I provided complete full coverage of Extreme Rules this past Sunday night. I have the results up on the page. In addition to talking about TNA wrestling, Ring of Honor wrestling, big part of our job here is promoting independent wrestling.
yes.
As we all talk about PWA quite a bit, but
Because PWA does have the prestigious
Squared Circle.
PWA Squared Circle television title.
Of course, definitely.
Right now, that's held by Troy Stevens, and hopefully we'll find out when that's going to be defended.
Right.
But at the moment, the
He needs to be
PWA
defending it because you have to defend it once a month.
That's correct.
So do you not?
Yes. PWA did announce a show in June, which we'll cover more in depth in the upcoming weeks.
Right.
But the Squared Circle Television Championship will be defended at that show by Mr. Troy Stevens. So looking forward to that.
Definitely looking forward to that. But there are other promotions out there that want to make everybody aware of besides PWA, and we have the NEWs out there. We have a card coming to Rhode Island. I believe next Friday we'll hopefully have some info on that next week.
Yep.
But May 18th, am I butchering the date?
16th.
May 16th. East Coast Professional Wrestling comes to the Cardinal Sheehan Center in Bridgeport, Connecticut. It's a 7:30 bell time.
There's the graphic. Yep.
There's the graphic right there.
On the screen. Yep.
In the main event, the legendary, iconic Superfly Jimmy Snuka takes on Andrew Anderson, and this is just 2 days prior to his 72nd birthday, I believe.
72, I believe.
72.
Yep. He will be 72 years old 2 days after this match, so more than likely we'll have a little birthday celebration for him.
Right.
But I don't think we'll do cake, because anytime there's a cake in the wrestling ring, it never ends up good. Somebody goes through it.
Somebody always ends up going through it.
I don't want it to be me.
It might, it's not going to be me, especially if that monkey's around.
That's correct.
But anyway, we have some special guests here tonight to talk about East Coast professional wrestling.
Yep.
We have the legend himself, Bridgeport's own, Bridgeport icon, Jay Ice Picarillo.
Yes.
Welcome.
Well-
Welcome to the Squared Circle.
It's a pleasure and an honor to finally be at the Squared Circle. I mean, Marvelous, what took them so long to get us on after all this time? I mean, you know, anyway,
This is your manager, Marvelous Mark.
Marvelous Mark,
Yes.
one of the greatest managers and advisors in history right here. First and foremost, I just want to say this.
Yes, sir.
I would not be sitting here or doing anything that I do if it wasn't for my friends, my family, and all the great people out there. They made this character, and I will continue to serve my community and take care of all my family and friends to do these things that I do for as long as possible. That's the first thing I want to say.
Absolutely.
I couldn't say it better myself.
Yeah. Well, for those of us that don't know, you're a former Mr. Connecticut state, national, world silver medalist in powerlifting, 2013 Connecticut Powerlifting Hall of Famer, right here. I've got the program, Connecticut Powerlifting Hall of Fame. So we have another Hall of Famer on our show. You've been involved in over 35 charities in the city of Bridgeport over the last 20 years. I know you've done wrestling events with the Hall of Famers, Tony Atlas, Brutus the Barber Beefcake, Jimmy Superfly Snuka, who you've got on your current card. And you're also working with the landmark Michelizzi's Italian Ice and Ice Cream, which I'm sure we're going to enjoy after the show.
Yes, you will. Yes, everybody will. Especially when the weather's getting warmer out. That's when everybody likes Michelizzi's, and this weather's got to get a little bit warmer. So
Yes.
be ready for that. But yeah, I've been working with the ECPW now for over 20 years. Gino Caruso, great guy out of New Jersey, great workers, old school. We do a lot of shows together, and we're putting together the show at the Sheen Center on May 16th. And in a nutshell, the Sheen Center has a lot of history in Bridgeport. Back in the 70s, Bruno Sammartino, Backlund, all the greats defended titles and had some of the greatest matches in history. It all happened at the Cardinal Sheen Center down in Bridgeport.
Yeah.
So we're bringing it back. There's a lot of nostalgia. This whole theme to this event is old school, the nostalgia from back then. You're going to see a lot of things that will remind you from the wrestling days of that era, and that's what we're trying to bring, along with the modern stuff as well.
Yeah. Well, I mean, this is like a super stacked card. We've, as Jay mentioned, the main event, you got Superfly Jimmy Snuka actually wrestling rather than just showing up and shaking hands.
I know.
Versus Andrew Anderson. You got a cage match with Connecticut's own Just Incredible versus Tony Myers and the Punisher. So you got a three-way in a cage. That's going to be, just fantastic. You got a street fight with yourself versus the Corrector, who I think we might have a visit from.
Corrector.
Let me just tell you something, not for nothing. Every so often, some big goof comes along, insults me, insults my family, insults all my fans. This is just another big dumb chooch that basically I'm going to beat the hell out of, slap him on his ass, and send him back home to his mommy, okay? Wow. As a matter of fact, they're probably going to have to call out the friggin' paramedics because there'll be nothing left of this guy.
He might need him tonight before he goes home.
I mean, like I said, there's always one that comes along. He's going to be no different than anybody else. I'm going to send him back where he belongs. Just another big dumb chooch I'm going to send back.
Wow.
No
And
big
him
deal.
showing up tonight just shows how stupid he really is.
Oh.
Really?
Oh, yeah. I mean, actually, have you guys seen this guy, what he looks like? He looks like Uncle Fester from the Addams Family meets like the big boss man's rejected son.
Wow.
You got to see him. I mean, he's not even in my league.
Fella here?
That's no, the other guy right over there. The big, the guy looks like what I just said, Uncle Fester meets
That's
the big
exactly
boss
what he
man.
is.
Okay.
Yeah.
I can see that.
I mean, he's running around. He's just listening.
He's right over your shoulder. If we can bring that graphic up again.
Right.
He's right over Jay Ice's show. Jay Ice is in the middle. And right over Jay Ice's, what would be your right shoulder, is the gentleman that we're talking about now, the Corrector. But I mean, also you've got a casket match. I mean, you got a cage match. You got a street fight. You got a casket match. Iron Eagle versus Timothy Plasma.
Yeah, well, basically, I do a lot of different kinds of charities in the city of Bridgeport.
Yep.
Wrestling, I get to once or twice a year. So when I do the wrestling shows, I want to make them special. And if people are going to come out with their families and travel, I want to make it a memorable night. So I try to do the best I can to bring in the best entertainment, the best gimmick matches, and just a variety.
Yeah.
Like I said earlier, you're going to have the nostalgia from back in the 70s. You're going to have the updated, gimmick stuff, the high flyers, the old school power guys in the ring. All just a variety of things all combined into one. That's what we want to do.
Right.
And hopefully it's going to be a major success, and we're really looking forward to it, definitely. And again, the Sheen Center brings back a lot of memories for me as a kid because my dad, may he rest in peace, brought me and my family to watch these old wrestlers back in the day,
Yep.
like San Martino, superstar Billy Graham,
Oh,
Bob Backlund. I grew up on those guys.
Yeah.
Chief Jay Strongbow, George the Animal Steel. Those are the guys that I grew up, and it's going to bring back a lot of memories of now being here 35 years later to be part of the show.
Thanks
and
for making us
actually
feel
promote.
old, by the way. We were just talking about high school days out in the hallway, and it was quite a while ago. And it's funny that we reconnect after all this time.
It's a small world, huh?
Marvelous Mark and I went to school together,
Yes.
and
There's one very important point I want to bring up to everyone is that anybody in need, anybody handicapped, special needs, autistic kids, anything having to do with disabilities, please contact me and I will comp you seats. You can contact me at JI712 at AOL. That's JAYICE 712 at AOL. And also my number at 203-650-8526.
it's on the screen as we speak. Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly.
Whether you're in a wheelchair, autistic, whatever the case may be, that is my priority to provide that night for someone special. And whoever that special person is, please contact me, whether it be yourself or your parents, and I'll take care of that for you.
It's fantastic. That's fantastic. If you're not familiar with our show, our executive producer is Tom Dacey, and he's got cerebral palsy, and he's wheelchair bound. But let me tell you, this guy is more able than anybody else. If you call him disabled, he'll slap you from here till Sunday.
He'll run you down with his wheelchair.
Yeah.
There's
And,
no money in the world or nothing that can satisfy me more than putting a smile on somebody's face that's not as fortunate as we
Yeah,
are.
and there's a wrestler that's in training at PWA. Roberto actually took my spot last week because I wasn't here. He's got cerebral palsy, and he's trying to be, a professional wrestler, much like the handicapped heroes in Zach Gow and Gregory Iron and their manager who's deaf, Hush.
I mean, how
So
can
we're all
anybody...
about,
Right.
we're all about able-bodied people.
I mean, how can
We
anybody
don't believe in
complain?
disability.
How could anybody complain when you see someone like that? I mean, it touches me. That I just don't understand how life could be so miserable for people when someone's in that situation.
Amen. Amen. But do you have any questions, Aubrey? Bring in the,
Not
come
yet.
on.
Not yet.
Okay,
Not yet.
chime in anytime. You're a chatterbox over here tonight.
I know.
But this card, and you also have an over-the-top battle royal. I mean, no matter what your tastes, it's on this card.
Yeah.
It's here.
Sure. Actually, I do want to say there's been an added match that's not on the flyer.
Okay.
We have Frankie Flo for the heavyweight title versus Jason Knight being added to that.
Wow.
Jason
wow.
Knight,
We had Jason Knight on 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
2 weeks ago he called in.
Yeah.
Oh, what's
Oh,
that?
we've got the corrector.
Really?
What do we have here?
Really?
He looks worse in person than he does on the poster.
Really? It's that easy?
No, was I right? What I said, right?
It's that easy to find you? You put it on Facebook? Jesus.
Look, I
Come
told
on,
you.
you're the
Did I tell you
Iceman.
how ugly you were?
You're the
What
hero
do we
of
have
the
here?
sport.
Listen,
Why you make it that easy for me?
who invited you here? I'm talking to these beautiful people here in New Haven County. These wonderful
Number
people
one.
sitting here
Number
invited
one.
me to come
You're
down.
Fairfield County, so keep it down that way.
No, let me tell you something. I'm expanding everywhere.
Oh, you're
Okay, I'm going
You're
everywhere.
expanding
That's
all
right.
right, round boy.
That's
you're
right.
expanding all right, round boy.
Listen, you know what? This ain't the time or the place for this right
No,
now.
you want to be
okay?
you're the big hero of Bridgeport. You're going to save the world.
Listen to this. Would
This guy.
Come on,
You want to
smoking?
call me a jooch? You ready?
You are a big dumb chooch. Look at you.
Big dumb chooch.
I told you.
Remember
Look,
one thing.
what did I tell you?
I told you.
What are you talking
May
about?
16th.
Yeah.
This
Oh,
is
he
my
knows
job.
dates. He can actually
I
date by looking.
face what you fear. You don't get this. I face what you fear. I go into jails. You go what? You sell ice cream.
Hey,
Ooh.
let me tell you something.
You're not
I'm
that
gonna
guy.
I'm
You're
gonna
not
stick you
that
in the
guy
jail.
anymore.
I'm gonna stick you in the jail
You're
cell.
not that guy anymore.
I'm not that guy.
You're not that guy. You're not
do
the
we have here?
powerlifting champ. You're not the big Bridgeport hero. You're not that guy.
Oh God! Listen to this.
You're
know
not
what?
that guy
Wait,
anymore.
you better leave now because you're gonna get me mad. And I'm gonna want you getting up off this seat. I'm gonna put your head through that friggin' table. Okay?
Oh, really?
Gentlemen,
Mark, you better tell this
You're
guy
gonna
to
get
back
mad.
off.
You're gonna get
Tell
mad.
this guy to
Bob.
back off.
Get mad.
Yo,
I'll-
mall cop.
Get
Mall cop.
mad.
Listen,
Listen, don't you got
Listen,
teenagers to
take
chase
ass
around
Paul
at the
Heyman.
mall?
Shut your mouth and sit down.
Take a
Paul
hike.
Heyman, sit down.
Take
You want to be
a walk.
Paul Heyman?
Wait, I'm a Paul
Sit
Heyman.
down.
would you people believe
Where's
this?
your
Sit
so-on
down.
badge here, tough guy?
No so on badge here. This is all 100%. This is 100%
100%
doing
what?
the job. Look, get
BS?
some more
100%
Grecian formula.
I'm getting really
Fix
mad
the
right
grades.
now. I'm getting
Fix the
very
grades
mad.
first. Sit down.
I'm getting
Suit
mad.
jacket that fits and sit down.
Look at this.
Sit down.
Mark, you guys
gentlemen.
better get him out of here.
Gentlemen,
I'm telling you right now.
gentlemen,
Get him out.
Gentlemen.
Jay,
Because I'm
Jay,
telling you, I'm going to wreck your whole
over
office.
here. Over here. I want you to look.
I'm looking. I'm
Look
looking.
in
Go
these
ahead.
eyes.
Yeah, I'm looking.
Don't worry about these pretty people. Don't worry about.
You wish you were
don't
pretty,
worry about
though,
the
huh?
walrus. You worry about me.
I ain't worried about nobody, okay?
Bring everything you got, and I'm looking for the kitchen sink.
Oh, yeah.
That's what I
Oh,
want.
it's coming.
I want
It's coming.
the kitchen sink.
It's coming.
Because when I rack it over your head,
You're going to wrap
when I rack it over your head, you're not gonna realize what hit you.
Okay. You know something, pal? You better just take a hike right now because you won't even make it to the May 16th. Okay? You better just go home, go to sleep.
I've had smaller than you threaten me
okay.
in jail. I ain't worried about no fat guy like you.
I'm going to slap you right on
Go
your
have
ass.
another piece of pizza. Go down the street, get some more pizza, get a little more pasta fazool, do your thing,
Yeah,
all
okay.
right? Get a little more sauce, sauce or gravy. What do they call it where you're from?
It's gravy.
Exactly.
That's
like
right.
you need another ounce of that. They tap that
Look,
vein, it's
get
gonna
him
come
out.
out
Get him
blood.
out. Get him out of here right now. Seriously, I don't want to deal with this right now. You got 60 seconds to get out of here. I'm gonna give you 60 seconds.
Really? Can
Get
you
him
count
out.
that high?
Get out. Come on, get him out. Mark, get him out of here.
Well,
okay?
this is
Don't worry about him.
Just insult, just ruined my whole friggin' night. I came here,
That's
we're having a
what I
nice,
do.
we're having a nice conversation with these people, okay? And you come here and you gotta spoil it for me. May 16th, I'm gonna drive your
16th.
head into the friggin'
I
ground
really
so far.
hope, I really
okay?
hope you can count that high. I hope you can make it that far.
You better call an organ donor because I'm gonna mess you up so bad on the
I
inside
hope you can make it.
from the beating you're
I
gonna
hope
get.
you don't have a stroke, and I hope you can make it.
Stroke.
I hope you can.
I'll
make
be
it.
there, pal. I will be
Big
there.
words, big words
I will
from
be
a
there.
big man.
Okay?
This,
Yeah.
this.
Whoa.
You better show up.
Go be somebody's
I'm
girlfriend.
gonna
tonight in
beat you.
jail there.
I'm gonna beat you
You're
so
gonna be-
bad.
Look, you're gonna be his bitch about 35 minutes when this interview's over. So
I'm gonna
shut your
beat you
mouth.
so bad.
Whoa.
You're just gonna be a statistic back in the prison, you bum.
You know, for once, somebody else is bringing the ruckus around
Yeah,
here.
yeah, wow.
What is going on
Listen,
here?
just-
Who is
Wow.
that guy?
That's the deal.
Wow.
Guys, this is
Incredible.
the bottom line. He's scared. When people get scared, what do? They run their mouths. It's all talk. He's having nightmares. He can't sleep at night. He's going to see psychiatrists. He's on medication. He can't take the stress. He knows it's all coming to an end. It's just it's all baloney. Okay, can't swear, so we'll use that word. Okay? It's all baloney. It's a bunch of hot air. He's just a bum. He's a big dumb chooch. Look at him.
Oof.
Okay, look, he had to look at the flyer to read the date. He didn't know what date it was. I mean, come on. I told you.
I'll
He's
tell
going to
you,
be a
if
statistic.
that's
He's got
any-
19 days left, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes.
And then he'll be gone just like the rest of them. And then Jay Ice prevails, gets back to the community, loves all his family and friends, and moves on to the next event. And then the next big dummy comes along. We do the same thing again. It's an ongoing cycle.
It's just an average day in the life of Jay Ice.
Wow.
And I'm still smiling.
Yeah.
I might not have the physique I used to have years ago. I'm not Mr. Connecticut no more. We know that. But I still got the smile and I still got the moves, baby, and I'm ready to go.
Excellent, excellent. Well, if that's any indication of what to expect,
I
this
know.
is a must-see.
We're gonna have security. Make sure that guy stays out of this facility for the rest of this
I
broadcast.
thought we were going to have a nice sit-down chat with the
I know.
gentleman, and that was not.
I'm
what I
over it already.
expected. Okay.
Those 60 seconds just went by. I had agita for the whole time he was here.
Yeah.
But now I'm good. So we can move on to other business and ask whatever you want. It's forgotten. It's forgotten. He's going to be forgotten.
Wow.
He'll never be seen again. He's going to be a nobody. You know what he's like in the movies? You see the credits for the stars, the co-stars, but then there's guys you see in the background that don't get any credit at the end.
Yeah.
They're gone. No one even remembers who they are. That's what he's going to be like. The guy in the movie you see for 30 seconds in the back of 20 people that didn't get any credits at the end of the movie.
Wow.
He's going to be gone. Statistic. The corrector. Who's he going to correct? What the hell?
He couldn't correct the first grader's homework.
See? The smart man, marvelous Mark. I always surround myself with marvelous people. Mark, tell them what's going to happen here. Explain to these people
Here we go.
what's happening in Bridgeport. Tell them what's happening out there.
I don't know where this guy gets off. He comes out of nowhere. You know, guy does nothing but good for people. You know, and he comes in and just trying to talk trash, pick a fight. Bring it. Bring it.
Like I said, people that do all the talking are the ones that are scared. You guys know that.
Yep.
I mean, all the most dangerous men are the ones that are good in life, are the ones that don't say much. People who got to talk too much usually are foolish.
They usually don't do too much.
Newer.
Stuff.
All talk.
Newer. Yeah. Yeah, we know somebody that's
We know.
Quite
We
a
all
lot of
know.
talk,
We know.
no action.
We know too well.
Yeah, I've laid out a challenge or two, and all of a sudden they get quiet. That's when they get quiet. Is when you lay out the challenge and you stand up to them.
As I said earlier, I would not be sitting here. I would not be the person I am today. I would not be doing these events if it wasn't for my family, my friends, and my fans. They made this character. They made me who I am. I will continue to serve the community for as long as possible. That's what I enjoy doing. That's why I get up every day thinking about what the next thing I'm going to do for the people, for the next kid I'm going to make smile, for the next person I'm going to, bring an autograph to it and make a donation, whatever the case may be. Put on a fundraiser, fireworks shows, bands, wrestling matches, bodybuilding shows, powerlifting, whatever it's going to be, street festivals, Italian festivals, we do it all. And I'm going to continue to do it for the rest of my life as long as I can, because I enjoy making the people happy.
Excellent. We have a phone call here, live on the Squared Circle.
Hey, Jay, just wanted to know, why aren't you Mr. Connecticut anymore?
Because I retired that 15 years ago, pal. It's just one of the things on my resume. I don't do it no more. I still run bodybuilding shows and help promote them, but just something I did a long time ago. Why? What are you asking for?
Oh, so you're going to go off your resume, right?
Well, you know who that is, right?
Yeah, I know what it is. I'm trying to play along with it. Yeah. Go home. Go to sleep. And I'll see you on May 16th.
But I just, like I said, I just want to know if people go off their resume. Most people would go off of what they do.
Hey, Mama, look, what have you done?
Okay.
What have you done?
What I'm going to do,
What I'm going to do. Well, listen, what I'm going to do. What am I going to do? Listen to this guy. What
What's he done?
I got big surprises for you, pal.
You got Bridgeport's finest out there, right? Catching the bad guys, right? Those are the real heroes. What's this guy do? He tells them when it's lights out and brings them oatmeal. Real tough guy.
I told you, he's been watching
Real
the ad.
tough guy.
He's been at
Tell
it.
you what, that bell rings. You're gonna wish you were behind bars, pal.
He's been watching the Addams Family reruns and Big Boss Man on YouTube every night. All right, on to the next thing.
On to the next thing.
And do me a favor, if he calls again, will you please? I don't want to cut him off.
Yeah,
'Cause I'm really trying. I'm getting my agita back
we won't
now.
accept any
Yeah,
calls.
please.
I've been off preface said for a
Gentlemen in
month.
the back, we do not want this guy in the facility anymore. We do not want this man calling the show anymore.
I've been happy.
Please.
I've been happy to say I've been off preface said for a month, which my acid reflux has gone away. When things like this happen, it flares up again. So please do me a favor and don't let this guy call again. On to the next thing.
He brought up your weightlifting career. I've got the old promos from Power Maniacs.
Right.
And
I am proud to say that I am the only man in history to ever win a Mr. Connecticut and be a national champion in powerlifting the same year. It was done in 1 year. I was over 300 pounds, won a national title in powerlifting, and then died it down to 250 pounds within the same year and won Mr. Connecticut. I'm the only guy in history to do that. That was done 15 years ago.
That's incredible.
So it's a great thing, a great accomplishment. I'm proud of that, and I'm also proud to be in the Hall of Fame in Connecticut for 2013 with the greatest lifters, not just in Connecticut, but in the whole world.
Right.
Dr. Squat, Fred Hatfield, big Donnie Thompson, very big names in the weightlifting sport.
Yeah.
It was a great accomplishment, and I still do to this day promote powerlifting and bodybuilding shows, which I enjoy doing.
Yeah.
I'm the state chairman for the International Powerlifting Association. I formed the Hall of Fame myself. I'm on the board of directors. And I also promote bodybuilding and fitness shows with the MPC with my good friends, the Montanari brothers,
Nice.
who run the Powerhouse Gym in New Haven, Connecticut. Very dear friends of mine.
Nice.
We do have another call. They do assure me that it's not the same man.
Please.
So hopefully, I hope not. I'll just hang up on him if it is. You're live on a Squared Circle.
Hey, Jay, you got to do me a big favor. Make sure you make enough watermelon ice, because this guy's going to take you down. And that manager of yours, buy a tie, you bum.
Geez, let me just guess who that could be. mean, is that all you have time to do? Why don't you go instead of taking Rhonda to the diner? Why don't you take her to friggin' Biagio's instead?
Who do we have the pleasure of speaking to this evening?
Good luck, Jay. You'll be all right.
Hey, you know one thing? It's gonna be a big night.
It's always a big night when Jay Pick is involved.
Oh.
All right, Lair, thanks for calling. These are good guys over here, by the way. Great people down here in New Haven County, in North Haven at the show. Awesome people down here.
Thank you.
The Squared Circle is a great show here.
Yes. As you know, I was recently in Chicago at our restaurant, the Squared Circle. Lisa Maria Verone, former Victoria and / Terra, owns the Squared Circle restaurant. She hooked me up with a nice Paul Heyman burger guy with the Squared Circle logo. And yeah, we had a really good time.
So they
out
actually
there.
have a Paul Heyman burger.
Yeah.
Maybe they got to get some J Ice, Italian Ice.
Yeah. Well, we'll have to
J
work
Ice
on that.
Blue Frost.
There we go. We'll have to work on that because you got the Blue Frost little face paint, right? Really nice here.
Yeah, basically, just to touch on that, we have a landmark business in Bridgeport that's been around for 40 years. It's a family business. It was started actually in 1931 by the original owner.
Yeah.
Make a long story short, my father in the 70s took over the business from the original owner, and my mother and him took it over and raised me and my sister. We've had it for almost 40 years. Wow. We're almost like the Fairfield County version of Libby's. You guys have Libby's out on Wooster Street. We're that of the Fairfield County, basically. It's an Italian Italian ice that's homemade, and we're voted best in the state, and we're a landmark in Bridgeport. I'm very proud to say we're going on 40 years in business. I'm very excited about that. Yep.
That's fantastic. We have another call?
We have another call, and it's not the same person.
Okay, that's good.
Busy night.
Maybe somebody don't know.
You're live on the Squared Circle.
Yeah, I'm just calling to let everybody know that Jay Ice, he's from Bridgeport. Bridgeport's behind him, and whoever he faces is going down.
Excellent.
Jay is the man.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you very much, sir.
Thank you.
That's right, and everybody in Bridgeport's behind this guy. He does so much for the community. He gives back to the community, and just want to let him know, Jay, Charlie says Bridgeport's behind you, buddy.
Charlie, you're a good man, and I really appreciate the call, buddy. God bless you and your family.
Thank you very much.
And I hung out with your mother at at Vazzi's a few weeks ago. She looks great.
Thank you. She had a good time. Thank you very much, my
Well, she's
friend.
with the Iceman. Of course she's going to have a good time.
That's it, buddy. That's it.
Nice
All right,
place,
buddy.
Bozzies.
Thanks a lot.
I've been there
We're
quite
going
a
to
few
see Motley Crue also. They're coming to Bridgeport in October, buddy.
You got it. We'll get together.
All right,
No,
man.
that's your last chance to see Motley Crue also. Thank you very much for the call.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye. Excellent.
Yeah, the Bridgeport Harbor Yard over there.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice place. Nice place.
We have a lot of, probably we're going to know probably a quarter of the place going there. We have these Only the Strong Survive shirts that they're all over Bridgeport. We're going to throw one to Vince Neil. Hopefully he gets it on stage.
Yeah.
It'd be kind of cool if we do that.
Great. Yeah, we just
That
bought
works
that
out.
for Mohegan Sun not too long
I'm
ago.
more of a Kiss fan, but I do like Motley Crue. I grew up on them, and it's going to be cool to see them in Bridgeport. Just have the Bridgeport thing and be around probably 1,000 of my friends that'll be there that night. The whole place will be, probably everybody I'm going to see down there that night.
Yeah, I'm a huge Kiss mark myself. Gene Simmons, I think, is one of the most brilliant guys out there. And,
Well, I'll tell you what, how much more brilliant than you get to come up with an idea that when you're dead and gone, you're going to pick a tribute band that's going to wear your makeup, play your songs, and give proceeds to your family when you're long dead and gone.
Yeah.
Kiss has
And
become...
I've said that for a long time, that they're going to make it like a Broadway show, like Annie or Blue Man Group.
Right.
Well, see...
And you're going to have a run of people go through as those characters. And the music is going to live on and on, just
And
like
it's-
Australian Pink
Kiss-
Floyd and Brit Floyd. And
Kiss is now not a band, it's a brand.
It's a
now.
brand, right.
And it's a smart thing to do, and why not? Because you know what's cool for me, and it's one of the greatest experiences I've ever had. My father, in 1979, when I was at that time 8 years old, took me to see one of the last shows with Peter Criss, the Dynasty Tour, which they stunk on that, but I didn't know at the time. I was 8, and I just loved it.
Yep.
And be on his shoulders watching Kiss, and here I am 35 years later with my son and up in Hartford this last
what I
summer,
did.
having him enjoy watching the show and singing along with it. It was he has the face paint on. It was awesome.
Yep.
That was one of the greatest experiences of my life to have that experience.
Isn't it awesome? Yeah.
And my point of bringing this up is that the same thing's going to happen now when these guys retire, when they're long gone. other kids and generations could enjoy the Kiss music and
Yep.
the Kiss show
Yep.
for decades to come.
I agree.
It's going to be an ongoing thing, and it's a
agree.
very smart move on his part.
I agree, definitely.
Definitely.
Very smart.
It's going to be around like Cats is Forever and all the like Les Mis. It's the same show with different people that are in those characters. And they definitely Gene and Paul created characters that will last and
What
live
band
forever.
in history have you ever heard of that ever created caskets? Kiss caskets.
Right, I
You
know.
could die. When you die, you go in a Kiss casket with Gene Simmons, Peter Criss, Ace Frehley, and
Right.
Paul Stanley's face on the casket.
Yeah.
Never been done before. Gene
No.
Simmons is a brilliant man.
Well, we should have the Kiss casket match. That's what we
Just
really-
change it to the
we need
Kiss
to have.
casket match.
Right.
So you just gave me an idea.
There we
Right.
are.
There we
We'll
go.
dress it up in the makeup.
Let's
and-
just worry
I think
right
we
now.
had a call, but I don't know what happened.
Oh,
The
we
light's
lost
not on anymore. So
But I mean, you mentioned a lot of the guys on the show. Who haven't we got? We got Dan the Man, who we've interviewed before.
right.
Dan the Man is a friend of the show as well.
Great worker.
Yep.
Awesome. There's a lot of good. I tell you, those guys. Like I said, I've been with Gino Caruso now, promoting shows and being part of the shows for over 20 years. We started in 1995. We had some shows down in Bridgeport at this St. Margaret Shrine. It's an Italian church with a festival outside, and we had Doink the Clown. We had Marty Jannetty. We had Jimmy back then, Superfly. A lot of good
So
wrestlers.
you've worked with Jimmy Snuka before in the
Many
past.
times. Well, I got a great story with Jimmy Snuka. Here's one
There
for
we
you.
go.
When I got inducted in the Hall of Fame, I gave this part of my speech. One of the shows we did, he stayed at the Holiday Inn down in Bridgeport. So I had to give him a ride. His wife was down there. So anyway, his wife's in the hotel room waiting for him, and there's a bar downstairs at the hotel, in the lobby. So I says, your wife wants you to she called and says you got to go, pretty much go to the room and retire for the night. This is going back about 5 years ago. Says, no, brother. He talks, no, brother, we're going to hang out here. You're going to hang out with me. So he orders a couple drinks. And before you know it, about an hour goes by, and there's been many drinks later. I hear it screaming and yelling in the hallway. It's his wife. And she was screaming and yelling at me. You're worse. She says, you're worse than I'm a giant, she says to me. She grabbed him. He was all, brother, I love you. And he's like staggering down the hall. And I was stuck with the bill that was about $160. So that's my Jimmy Superfly story that I'll never forget. And he's a great guy, and I've known him for a long time. He's just he's one of the biggest legends in the history. He's on the same level to me as Flair and all those other guys.
Yeah,
I mean, the
absolutely.
top three we know is Hogan, Stone Cold, and The Rock. Those are
Right.
the top three. Okay, but the tier down from that would be Flair, Taker, and all those guys, and I put Superfly on that level,
Yeah.
that second tier.
I agree.
I agree.
What do you got?
Actually, I know that like the big deal right now in WWE is give divas a chance, and I see you catered to almost basically everything on the card. You got a battle royal, you have a street fight, you have a cage match, a casket match. I've never seen, maybe because I'm young, but I've never seen a casket match in the indie promotion ever. But where are the girls match? Where do the girls fit in?
Well, there's a lot of surprises, honey, that are not on there. There will be women there that night, but I want to keep them as a secret. But you're more than welcome to come down that night and see the surprise. Maybe be part of it if you'd like. There's some wonderful female wrestlers that will be there that night, and I have some surprises. So if you come, you'll find out what's going to happen with the females.
Okay, just making sure that we're giving girls, even in the indies, a chance.
Always. Women always come first. Women and children first. The Van Halen album.
There you
Came out
go.
in
Right?
1980.
There you go.
Right?
You don't miss a trick.
Yeah, I think David Lee Roth has seen some better days, though. Oof.
Yeah, I know. You're right about that.
But,
But then again, Sammy Hagar's had better days too, to be honest with you.
yeah, I'd rather have Sammy, though.
As
Sammy
long
can
as
still
if I could
belt
get
it out.
Here we
two,
go. We're gonna start arguing again.
if I could get 5 more years from Iron Maiden and Judas Priest and all these other guys, after 5 years, we're not going to see no more of this anymore.
Right.
So let's just take advantage of what we can
Well,
get.
Bruce
for the next
Dickinson
couple years.
just recovered from tongue cancer, and the guy, the greatest voice.
Yeah.
I mean, God bless Ronnie James
Right.
Dio. But I mean, Dio
Right.
and Dickinson.
Oh yeah.
have to be.
And Rob Halford.
And Halford.
Right.
But to me,
I agree
Dio
with
and Dickinson are the greatest voices
Yeah.
in metal ever. And
I'll agree
here's a
with you.
guy that depends on his on his voice and his vocals, and he gets tongue cancer. It's like,
I mean, there's always,
No.
since we're on this subject, there's always been this debate about with the Iron Maiden version with the Paul Diano. I mean, here's the thing: the Paul Diano version was great. That was more of a punk rock.
Yes.
More like that old British metal back in that. It was a
Yeah.
whole separate sound.
Yep.
So you can't really compare. Bruce Dickinson brought it out it's a whole different entity. You cannot. It's like comparing, Mike Tyson to Rocky Marciano, or comparing,
And the other thing that Dickinson brought, like Paul Di'Anno basically stood there and sang.
Right.
Bruce Dickinson is the consummate front man. He gets everybody into it. He runs around and has more energy, and then he flies the freaking plane.
Yeah.
After the show, he flies the band plane.
That's
amazing.
That's amazing.
I mean, I got to tell you something. That Number of the Beast album. I mean, for me, I don't know if you agree. The best music that ever came out was from 1975 to 1990. That 15-year period. The early '80s, the greatest albums of all time. Think about it. Screaming for Vengeance, Number of the Beast. I mean, all those classic albums.
Yeah.
The Van Halen albums. The
Yeah.
1, 2, and Fair Warning. All those classics.
Yeah.
All came out in that era.
Yeah.
Motley Crue, Shout at the Devil. I mean, all the stuff that, the Kiss, well, they changed at that point because I was more into the 70s Kiss, but
Yeah.
that's when the classic metal and then the groundbreaking music
Yeah.
really came out
Definitely.
for me, for what I like.
Yeah. Yeah.
Quiet
Well,
Riot,
and
hair
quite
metal,
honestly,
hair
20,
bands.
30 years from now, we're not going to listen to the junk that's on the airwaves now. All that stuff, like we're still listening to Zeppelin 35, 40 years later, and we're on the 50th anniversary of The Who.
Right.
50 years of The Who, and they're still going strong, and you can't,
Yeah.
you can't escape.
Hey,
You
if
know.
Mick Jagger can still run around.
Yeah.
And how old is he? Like 83, Or
Yeah.
84. I
Something
mean,
like that,
there's
yeah.
hope for everybody.
Yeah.
So. But at some point, you're going to have to say it's time to pack it in. But listen, I understand how they feel. Look, this is all they know. This is what keeps them going.
Yep.
It's like a guy who worked all his life. He doesn't want to stop. When he stops, what does he do? He's going to go play golf and sit on the couch all
Yeah,
day.
yeah.
It's just it's
Alice,
mental.
Alice Cooper's got a great golf game.
Sounds like somebody else I know.
But, and we just said, Snooker's going to turn 72 right after this show.
And Snooker's probably going to
know.
wrestle till he's 90
Yeah.
if he could.
Yeah, and you know what? He's still in awesome shape. We saw him at the New England Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame 2 years ago.
Right.
I mean, listen, for me, I don't care if he even does one move. Just for him to be there is enough for me.
Yeah.
I don't care what he does.
Yeah.
Everybody, so he's going to go off the top ropes. If he does, he's probably not. But
No.
I don't need him to do that to satisfy me.
Right.
Just his presence being there is enough to make.
Oh
me
yeah,
happy.
that's an honor to meet the
Oh,
man. Yeah.
And getting back to the theme of this show, the nostalgia. It's all about bringing back at the Sheen Center. Let's go back again.
Yeah.
Some of the greatest matches in East Coast were done at the Sheen Center. Bruno defended his title there. Putski, George the Animal Steel, Backlund. They were all there.
Yeah.
So we're bringing back that nostalgia from the 70s and 80s back, along with the modern.
Right, and that's very, very important because professional wrestling, can't forget that era and how important it was. I mean, it's totally different now from the way it was back then.
Yeah. The pre-Hogan era,
Sure.
of Vern Gagne, the pre-Hogan era was so great in its
Right.
own right, and unfortunately, it's kind of forgotten because then you had the Hogan in that 80s, like
Right.
almost cartoonish
Right, sure.
WWF, and then now
then-
everybody's looking at the Attitude Era with Stone Cold and The Rock and and the Monday Night Wars and stuff.
That was
but
probably the most
the
intense
Backlund, Backlund's reign as champion, and going back to Bruno's reign as champion, and everywhere in between with Superstar Billy Graham, you mentioned.
Who's by the way, I want to say my biggest influence, my favorite wrestler of all time is Superstar Billy Graham. And I'll tell you right now, as you probably know, there would never be a Hulk Hogan. There would never be Jesse the Body Steiner.
Right.
If it wasn't for, he was way ahead of his time. And I'll
yeah.
tell you
The
this,
original.
if he came in 10 years later, he would have been as big as The Rock for that time.
Yeah.
'Cause he had the charisma, the look, the body. This guy, he was
And
like
he created the promo,
yeah,
really.
and one of the best
The
mic
modern day
men,
promo.
the best bodies. So, I mean,
Yeah.
the guy his physique was unbelievable.
Yeah, and he worked
Tremendous
with
physique.
Schwarzenegger as well.
Yeah, he bench pressed 600 pounds like 1972. He was Mr. America in 1975.
Yeah.
He had 22-inch arms, legitimate 22
Yeah.
arms. It wasn't these fake measurements that these wrestlers give.
Right.
The guy was tremendous.
Yeah.
It was unbelievable. It was way ahead of his time. He would have been the Rock of the early 80s. He would have been in movies, that whole deal he would have had.
Oh, yeah.
He just came too soon. though.
Right.
His time wasn't there. And Vince Sr., from what I understand, couldn't grasp putting a heel as a making
Right.
them a baby face.
Right.
He kept that separate. The crowd it was the first time in history where a heel was over.
Yep.
Where the crowd they don't want Howdy Doody Bob Backlund. They wanted
Right.
Superstar Billy Graham.
Yeah.
He was the heel.
Yeah.
Vince Sr. did not want that, and that's why he changed it.
Yeah.
And a lot of people, including his son, say that was a mistake. And if the role was reversed, he would have been
He
that
would have been as
Hulk
big
Hogan.
as Stone Cold.
Oh,
Right.
yeah, bigger.
Yeah.
He would have been.
And
he would
without
have-
him, you don't have Stone Cold. You don't have The Rock.
So basically, the Hulk Hogan you saw emerge in the 80s was what Superstar Billy Graham should have been
Yeah.
at that time.
Yeah.
And he's my favorite. I'm going on about it because he was the guy for me. He,
Yeah.
Not just for wrestling, but for lifting weights. I mean, the guy
Oh, yeah.
was tremendous. I mean, way ahead of his time.
Yeah.
Wait, no one looked like that.
No, you're right.
You know, so much charisma, man. I mean, he was the most charismatic guy
Yeah,
ever.
and that's really what he brought. And like I said, the promos. Yeah, granted, he copied a little bit of Muhammad Ali.
Right.
And
But it worked.
Admittedly, in
Right.
his in his interviews and in his book, he said he got the idea from Ali and the way Ali talked.
Let's see if I can
But
remember one of
he
his
brought
promos.
it. Yeah, go ahead.
It's I'm the reflection of perfection, the #1 selection. I eat T-bone steaks, I lift barbell plates, and I'm sweeter than a German chocolate cake. I'm the man of the hour, the man with the power. Too sweet to be sour. I'm superstar Billy Graham.
Word for word. Testify.
There we are. Yeah,
You
great.
just learned that 5 minutes before we got here.
Yeah, YouTube sensation, right?
Right.
I get up every morning. I run 19 miles a day, swim across the Atlantic Ocean, work out for 5 hours. Unbelievable condition. Any state, Mexico, United States, Antigua, Africa, superstar Billy Graham, Madison Square Garden, 24,000 strong, Bruno San Martino. I'm gonna kill you, knock you out, brother.
Nice.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's a history lesson right there.
There we are. You know,
Right.
I mean, and that's what we're all about.
I
I
just
mean,
gave superstar Billy Graham 10 minutes. That's good.
yeah.
Wow.
He better be happy.
That's
man.
more than he's got on the WWE Network, for goodness sake. Yeah, we've got it all here. We've got, the new, the old, and the borrowed, and the blue.
So now I have a question to ask you guys.
Sure.
Tell me what your favorite wrestlers and how you got started with this show, and tell me your deal. Tell me how you guys started all
You
this.
can go.
Well, I could tell you right now. I started out back in 1995 on a show called In the Ring with he's the executive director of the station, as a matter of fact, Walter Mann. His two co-hosts had left that show, and a gentleman named Bob McGuire and myself came down to try out to be his new co-hosts, and we got the job, and I was on there for, I'd say, till maybe spring, fall '95, and after that, branched out on another show called Ringside Seat. I was involved with Public Access up until about 2001. I took a 10-year hiatus, got a job that required me to work second shift, so I was out of there. Came back in 2011 on a show called The Top Rope with Mr. Trivia, and myself and my good friend Bob, Bad News Bob, left there and started this here, the Squared Circle. I started out with a guy named Jordan Izzo. Jordan worked with this guy over here, John Zimmerman. Met him at Athena Diner about an hour or two before the initial first episode series premiere. And I'm like, well, John, come down to NHTV right now, and we'll give you a try. And that was September 2013.
You know what? You've been clapping for us tonight. Let's clap for them. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Nice job. Congratulations.
History.
What's your story?
I've liked Ricky Steamboat, Ultimate Warrior, and I've always like came to the Miss Elizabeth and the Luna, and I love the Attitude Era females like the Chyna, Ivory, Sable. Before she came back the second time, because then she sucked. But that's my passion. Is like these women. The guys are great. Well, I kind of like them back then more than I do now. Right. But the women from the WWF era were very, like, to me, they're very inspirational, I guess. Not only did they look good, and you have Trish Stratus, who came in as a fitness model, and I didn't think she would be anything. Nobody thought she was going to do anything. And look at she's a Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
Incredible.
I want to say something about what I agree with you 100%. I got to say, the girls back then, all the divas were distinctive back then, like you're saying. They all had. There's some that are good now, but they're kind of blended all in now.
Yeah.
Back then, which I agree with you, everybody was more distinctive, and they all had their own thing going on. It was really cool, and they actually started a lot of stuff that they're all repeating now.
Yep.
And, you know, like you said, Trish and Ivory and there was some great, you know, even Sable. She wasn't as talented as the rest of them, but the look she had coming out with the blonde hair and all that.
Yeah.
I agree with you. And there was another, you know, all this was really good back then. You guys remember that there was another wrestler that came out with DX. He was a built.
Tori.
Yeah.
I love her,
yeah.
Tori.
Yeah.
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 Okay.
Not the blonde Tori, but the one with the DX, right? The blonde Tori that hung out with, you know, it came
Tori.
out with. Yeah,
Not
yeah.
Tori Wilson.
Right, Tori Wilson.
Her real name
yeah.
is Terry Posh.
Yeah.
She was
She was pretty. She was
fitness
pretty,
or-
She's pretty damn hot too, man.
yeah.
She was awesome.
Love
She
her.
came out with X-Pac and the other.
She came in
I almost
as
forgot about
her starting line was that she was a stable fanatic and she got all this plastic surgery to look like her allegedly. And that's how she was brought into WWE. And then she did storylines with Kane and X-Pac and Sable. I loved
actually
her.
thought she
And
was sexier than
it seemed that they were more athletic back then too, especially when you got in Trish and Lita. When Lita came in, she was a whole new animal.
Oh yeah.
You know, and she could, you know, she was doing the swanton like Jeff Hardy.
Oh, yeah.
And
Esa Rios.
yeah, yeah, and she was just incredible as a worker. You know, and not only
set
was
the
she,
bar.
not only was
bar,
she
definitely.
good looking, I don't think we have anybody today that can touch Lita. You know, and obviously she's in the Hall of Fame as well.
Right. I totally agree with her too. What she said about Trish. I mean, no, when she came out with Tess and the other guy,
TNA.
I'm like, okay, where's this gonna go? But I'll tell you what, man, she really did what she. You could see how hard she worked to get where she was.
Yep.
It wasn't given to her. She went along with all the angles, even the dumb things that they did at that time. She went along with the program, and she worked hard. It's kind of even like John Cena. I got to say the same thing for him. He started out kind of stale. It wasn't all that.
Yeah.
And, and he was one of the worst promo guys. The guy couldn't cut a promo. Now he's one of the best ever.
Yep, yep.
So I have to say that 100% they deserve the place that they're in. 100%. She's a great ambassador for the sport. Classy lady too, man.
Indeed.
You know.
But
Of course, my favorite, of course, Gail Kim.
Yep. Yeah, good worker. Good worker.
Yeah.
But I got into, I mean, going way back, I mean, staying up at Grandma's house watching Haystacks Calhoun in black and white on Saturday night, you know, at midnight.
Channel 9.
Yeah, trying to stay up, you
Trying
know.
to fight to stay awake.
Yep. You know, and then like my sister, like, it's on, you know.
I remember.
And watching Haystack, I mean, that's how far I go
Was like
back. And then,
600 pounds
you know,
back.
I met Mario Mancini when I was 17 years old.
Yeah.
And he's just a little older than me.
He ran the wrestling school at Quest Gym in Orange.
That's correct. He's got a wrestling school now,
And he actually-
Paradise Alley Wrestling.
He actually got to become into the lawyer, like an attorney.
Yeah, he's an
Yes.
attorney now. Yep.
Yep.
When you see him,
And,
mention my name, he knows me very well. I go
yeah.
way back. But matter of
Yeah,
fact,
he's working with Paul Roma.
Yeah.
And the bondsman right now.
Alex Roma.
No, geez, I don't know his
Dave
real name.
Paradise.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
it.
Right.
Yeah, Paradise. It's Paradise
Mancini, I
Alley.
tell you what, Mancini taught a lot of guys, man.
Yep.
He was
yeah.
great. And,
Yeah, he's been on the show several times.
great
and I know
worker.
him, you know, personally. And like I said, I met him at like 17 years old, and I've
there-
known him all like 30, you know, whatever it is.
The
years.
original owner, to give you a little bit of history, which you probably already know, was a guy by the name of Kenny Passarillo, who was
Oh,
Mr.
yeah.
Universe in
Yes,
bodybuilding.
yes,
He
yes.
ran Quest Gym.
Yep.
What happened was he built a part of the gym for wrestlers to learn, you know, how
Oh,
to
yeah.
work. And
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Mancini was the guy, along with Dr. D. David Schultz at
Yes,
that time,
yes.
that came in and taught all these guys locally how to wrestle. A
Yeah.
lot of them became, we'll use the word jobbers, because that's what it was back
Yeah,
then.
yeah, yeah. He
And,
says it himself.
Mark Thomas was good. Then they had another guy named Russell Greenberg.
Yeah.
He was there, and a lot of good guys came
Yeah.
out of there. And
Yeah.
Mancini was great. He's a good
Yeah,
guy.
and
Awesome.
he's right now. He's working with Paul Roma, you know, one of the Four Horsemen at one point, and
Right.
tag team champion several times over.
Paul
Power
Roma.
and glory.
I'll tell you what, Roma,
Yeah.
still built. I watched
yeah.
him. You know, I've watched him at the gym, still jacked
Yeah,
and,
oh, yeah.
and
Oh,
still
yeah.
Let me tell you
still
something.
lifting.
He had a lot of ladies loved it. He
He's
was definitely a
unbelievable.
ladies guy. And actually,
He's unbelievable at 50,
I
whatever.
don't know if this is true, but this whole Shawn Michaels boy toy deal was supposed to be his thing. It was
Yeah.
supposedly, allegedly his idea.
Yeah.
And I guess Shawn and somebody else ran with it, but he could have been. I mean, let's face it. Paul's a friend of mine. He's got, you know, a little rough around the edges, but he's a good man. I'll tell you one thing that he did. I'll never forget. My cousin who had Down syndrome was in the hospital, and Paul came and signed autographs and visited Ralph, my cousin who passed away. So a lot of people badmouth Paul. Yeah, he done some stupid things, but you know what? In my book, I respect the guy.
Yeah.
I respect the man, and that's my deal with
Yeah,
him.
he's good to us. You
Yeah.
know, he's a good guy.
You just have to know him. Some people you have to get to know.
Yeah.
It's like anything in life. Some
Yeah,
people,
you can't approach him. You have to like be introduced. It's one of those
He's one
kind
of those type
deals.
of guys. I'm the type of guy I can get along with anybody. He's
Right.
the type of guy that's specific who's
Yeah,
going to talk to.
but you know, hey, we're all different. But you know, he does have that air that you know, if he doesn't know you, then but once you know him, he can't do enough for you.
I have a little
He's
bit of
good guy.
history, something you probably don't know.
Quickly.
Evan Santopani, who's in the Mr. Olympia, he competes in the Mr. Olympia contest for bodybuilding.
Yep.
That's Paul Roma's nephew. If you look at the pictures,
Yep.
then you just see the genetics in that family. Evan's the best built man in the history of Connecticut. He's in the top 8 in the Mr. Olympia.
Nice.
He's from Connecticut. That's Paul's nephew.
Oh wow.
And he's tremendous. He's
Yeah.
he's doing very well for himself. He's a good friend of mine. I actually brought him to the Montaneries gym, the Powerhouse, when he was younger,
Yeah.
and introduced him to the brothers, and he just took off and became unbelievable.
Right.
Arnold Classic, he competes in these, sign all kind of deals. He's a great guy.
Good.
And that's Paul's nephew. It's Paul's father. That's Paul's father's son.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't know that, but that's a little bit of history there.
Fantastic. Nice. See, we learned something.
Learn something new every day.
Before we run out of time, I do want to thank the fine folks over at WWE. You were talking about Flair not too long ago, and
No, of course.
they know you're a big Flair mark, so they sent over the
Wasn't that
Mattel
nice of them?
Ric Flair WrestleMania 8 here. So that's for you, and also the fine folks at WWE sent over the Marine 4 Moving Target, starring the Mizanin, excuse me,
Yes, exactly.
and Summer Rae. And you open it up, it's autographed to the guys at the Squared Circle. You guys are awesome! Sign the Miz, and
Anytime, Miz.
keep up the great work. Big heart, Summer Rae. So definitely, fine folks over there at WWE in Stanford, keep sending us the free swag. We love it, love you for it, and we can't get enough of it.
Definitely. We have a phone call here, another one. Just lighting it up tonight.
Yep.
Live on the Squared Circle.
Is Jay Ice there?
Jay Ice is
Jay
live
Ice
on the
is
Squared
right
Circle.
here.
Can I talk to him?
You are live.
You're
Speak.
live. Speak. He's right here.
Is that Joey
Jay
Ambrosini?
Ice, it's me.
Joey Ambrosini.
It's me.
How you doing, Joey?
I'm good.
It's my #1 fan, actually.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
What can we do for you, Joey?
Now, can I get some word on your match with the corrector?
What's that? What's that, Joey?
Is there anything you have to say to the corrector?
I said a lot of things to the
Oh,
correct.
yeah,
The director
you
was just
missed-
in here a while ago and causing a ruckus, my
I
friend.
know. Somebody else causing a ruckus on the show.
Joey, like I told you, he's just a big mouth. We're going to slap him around, send him back home to his mom. You'll never hear from him again, Joe. I promise you're going to get rid of this guy. He's just a flyby. He's a flash in the pan. You got no worries, buddy. I'm going to handle the situation. He'll be a memory in 19 days. Don't you worry about that. So did you get the tickets with your mom? You all set?
The tickets?
You're gonna have a seat with your name on it, okay? Because you've been so supportive. And you're such a good kid. We're gonna make sure that there's a seat with your name on it. I promise you that.
And I'm going to make sure that I record every second of the corrector getting slapped. And then, next thing you know, we're going to lock him up back in his prison cell, and no wonder his mommy calling her every day.
See?
Nice, nice.
Nice.
Joey, thank you very much
Thanks
for
for
the call,
calling,
sir.
Joe. We love you, man.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you. Good night.
That was awesome.
Wow.
Wow. Speaking of recording, we do send out a camera crew if we may.
Sure.
And,
I'm giving you. You guys can do whatever you want. Just make sure one thing: whatever you bring in for chairs and tables, there's rubber on the bottom because I can get. If they scratch the floor, they're going to come after me.
Yeah.
But you guys
We'll
can
make
bring
sure.
as many people as you want. Set up tables, do banners, flyers, whatever, cameras, whatever you got to do. It's no
Great,
problem.
great.
All I ask is you promote the show.
Yeah,
That's it.
That's what we're doing
do
right
that.
now.
Yeah, well, obviously.
We'll
You
mention
can-
it next week,
You
too.
can tell all the people in the Fairfield County who I don't get to, obviously, because I'm out
Yeah.
that way a lot.
Yeah.
Just let them know what's going on.
Yeah.
And one more thing. There's a gentleman, his name is Pete, that has that, what's his last name?
Schmidtke,
Yeah.
Joseph von Schmidt.
Right.
Yeah, I happened to meet him. He's a great guy. I know
Yes,
he's got
he is.
another wrestling organization in Cheshire. He invited me to one of his shows. His workers are great. I told him and invited him and his guys to come down, and come enjoy the show. And we'd love to have those guys down too as well. They're
Yeah.
nice people.
Yeah, they are.
You know?
We sponsor a title, the television title for Pete's organization, PWA.
Right.
And we got a really nice belt, which Troy Stevens is owner of right now.
Right.
And we've been working with them for quite some time. And actually, Jacob trains at Joseph von Schmidt's facility.
Tell
And
them that Jay I said hello, and again, we spoke on the phone. As a
Yeah.
matter of fact, I'm going to give them a couple extra tickets to give to his guys if you guys want to come down.
yeah.
And again, do something with that. You can do some trivia stuff and you know, do whatever you like out here. It's
Great.
Definitely. Do you have any other cards coming up in the future after
we
May, or-
definitely will. I don't know when.
Yeah.
We had a match. We had Greg the Hammer Valentine. We had a great show in Bridgeport a few years back outside. We had fireworks. We had 600 people showed up.
Nice.
I had an arm wrestling match with a guy, Brutus Beefcake and Tony Atlas were out there. We had it was like it was an Italian club that I'm a member of actually, and they were selling pizza frites and pasta. It was really cool. We had a fireworks show at the end. It was a big crowd though. We had about 600-700 people show up, which is big for an independent show. You know.
Yeah. Oh, that's fantastic. Well, with a few
Amazing.
minutes left, give us your phone number, your contact information. We'll put it up on the screen, but you can say it again.
Sure. Well, first I want to thank all you guys for letting me be part of the show here tonight. I really appreciate it, and I just want to say again, what's most important is that anybody out there that has a disability, physically disabled, whether in a wheelchair, autistic, anything, please contact me at JAYCE, which is JAYICE 712 at AOL.com, which you see on the screen, or even call me on my number or text me 203-650-8526, and I promise you I will put a smile on that person's face that night for sure, 100%.
I will say that you're the first person to do that on our show, and it's fantastic that
There
you're
should be a
willing
lot
to do
more
that.
people doing
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
Amazing.
He's doing a lot of firsts,
yeah.
as you can see in the card.
Yeah, I mean, it's fantastic. We really appreciate you having down here.
And the last thing I
And,
want to say, I want to thank again my family, my friends, and my fans. I would not be Jay Ice. I would not be sitting here. I would not be doing all these things in the community if it wasn't for you guys. Thank you for giving me the opportunity for being the person I am today. I love everyone very much. Thank you again.
And another one of our co-hosts, Robert Dan Hoff, organizes the food drive and clothing drive, which we help out with for the East Haven Food Pantry. And we're all about giving back, man. That's
Definitely.
that's what we have to do. This is what we're here for.
Yep.
I mean, we're very fortunate to be in the position we're in.
Of course.
We're very lucky to have what we have. And if we don't give back, then you know what? We don't deserve what we have.
I mean, like all these, all the things you read off about me being Mr. Connecticut, doing all these things. I had my day. Now at this point in my life, which I'm at the halfway mark now, hopefully, I want to. This is my enjoyment now is to make other people happy, coach other people for weightlifting, bring in new fans for wrestling, bring in the whole new generation and make people happy and take care of people that are in need. That's what I want to do at this point in my life. At this point on. All that other stuff was great. It had its time, but that's then and this is now.
Yeah. Do you have anything coming up?
Actually, I was talking to someone yesterday about a podcast, and they want me to do an interview for their podcast. Well, they want to interview me about this, whole Bruce Jenner stuff going on.
Okay.
So,
Right.
we're working out the details because I want it to be tastefully done, and I will let you guys know.
Okay, post it on our page.
Definitely.
Definitely.
Sure, right up
lovely
there.
Aubrey, always glad to have you. You're always welcome to
Yeah.
come down. Mom?
She's good. She's doing better. I was gonna come last week and
last
surprise
week.
everyone, but as I was getting ready, I got a call that she was in the ER. So
So she's well.
she's doing better now.
Good. Thoughts and prayers out to all.
I was gonna
Definitely.
definitely say a prayer for your mom.
Thank you.
Right, and thoughts and prayers out. My friend Dan came up from Florida. His mom's been in the hospital, just getting out Wednesday. So,
Yeah. Well, like I said,
thoughts to her too.
It's always about giving back, and we care about people first, and then all this other fun stuff
Exactly.
comes second.
Well, we'll definitely see you on the 18th.
16.
16th. Here we go again.
You're always late. You're late for everything, brother.
That's a whole other episode.
Oh my goodness.
I'm Hollywood J. Williams. Good night and good luck. We'll see you next Tuesday.
All right, that's a wrap.
See you next Tuesday.